Hi, beautiful Leo. Welcome to a new era. My name's Emma. Leo, this is your forecast for 2024. We're going to do the entire year. So make yourself a cup of coffee or a cup of tea and really settle into the message. You can also obviously just come back month for month if you want to. I actually have pulled like all the cards, the initial cards for each month already on the table to spare some time, to save some time, and also get into the energy a little bit. Because it's going to still be so long that I just figured I'd do that outside of the time for the video. And I am going to bring in January just because it feels weird to leave it out. It feels like it's not a complete energy if I don't bring it about. When I'm making this video and when you watch the video, you might already be past January. So obviously just, move up ahead if you're not interested. You might just want to check in if it resonates, if that is what happened in January. So it is come to the edge. It has come to the edge, Leo. It's about, I will clarify in front of you. It's about, come to the edge is about really learning to set yourself first, to be as much in alignment as you possibly can, to open up to anything and everything, but in the most authentic and brave way. If this is like a relationship situation, if this January for you was about just really step into more of an authentic version of yourself, you might have had people around you that, if there's certain people that don't match that authenticity, they sort of start to need to go. If there's people matching that authenticity, you will start to allow them in. And it can be a little bit frightening or a little bit like intimidating to really open up your heart to someone to truly see every single part of you, Leo. So it's about being in the unknown. It's about being in the unknown for everything, for relationships, for work, for like what's up ahead, what like 2024 is going to bring about. It's January speaking about like be in the unknown. Don't know so much. You don't have to have all the answers right now. Like sit still for a bit. And we're just going to do a short, yeah. The World card. You're leaving the old behind though, that's for sure. The World card is coming out, Leo. A very happy ending, coming full circle, spiritual growth and insight. So there's like a sense of completion. Like it's interesting because starting January, it's sort of almost, this is almost like a December vibe, but like starting January is always like a fresh new start. We're starting over, which this is. But I feel like this is more like a feeling of, okay, closing down, wrapping up, get ready for the next chapter. It's more like a preparation and leaving the old behind. And the World card represents not just like, oh, so that was a good week or that was a good month and let's move on. This is like when we're ending an entire decade, or like it's a huge chunk of your life that is like now putting you behind it. Okay? Moving on to February, which is TikTok. It's the time card. And this is inspiring you for the month of February, Leo, to just as much as you possibly can. And this is a recurring theme, I feel, for the year. To trust in the higher realms, to trust in your higher self, that divine timing plays a role in everything, as it always is. So it's like, and it's also the situation, if you're putting everything behind you in January, like you're starting fresh, you're becoming more and more of like the authentic version that is Leo. And you have a specific like, and now I want this to proceed in this and this fashion, whether it's like relationships or work or like whatever, wherever your life is about to get on to with for. You have like maybe a certain like, and this is how I want it to look. And the month of February, you're really inspired to try to not sort of have a result as exactly what that's going to look like. So if it's a relationship, if you're already in a committed relationship, try to go for like, what do you want to feel in this relationship? And try not to put like a label on how that looks. Let the universe provide and delight you with surprises on how things can actually turn up that you didn't even think of. Or if this is like you want to change a certain situation in terms of a job situation, try to go for what is it that you really want to accomplish when it comes to a job. What is it that you want to feel when it comes to your job, and try to not put a label on it. So February is very much about going for what you want, but trying to not put like on a face on it. This is how it should look, because it's about leaving it to higher power, and then trusting in the timing of things, and trusting in the way that it shows up. Not the way that it shows up. Well, the way that it shows up as well, but what it looks like when it shows up might not be what you thought. Can we clarify TikTok here for the month of February, please, for Leo? To try to stay, shortening it down is like trying to stay as open as you possibly can to several outcomes, several looks. But it's going to bring about a satisfaction. I'm sorry, I need to focus. Clarifying TikTok, please. And you know, this entire year with Pluto moving into Aquarius, it's a game changer for a lot of people. It really is going to bring about so many different things. Stand your ground. Okay, so it's not about like being, I don't know why I want to use the word whimsical, but like it's not about like being like, well, we'll see. You can still like really be headed in a very clear direction, Leo. Like you can really like, this is what I want. So it's not about like completely like, well, then I don't know what I want, and be sort of insecure about it. This is a very like clear, directed, stand your ground, know what you want, and go for that. Like have that direction and have that intention for the month of February. But try to stay as open as you can as to how that will come about, or how that will look when it comes in. Okay? We're moving on to March. Believe and succeed. It's a good theme here. So believe and succeed. So this is very much about, again, having that clear intention. What is it that you want, Leo? In terms of relationships, in terms of work, in terms of just your overall life, opportunities, where you live, how the next chapter in your life is going to look. What is this year about? And March is bringing that, like, to really continue to dream and really continue to put that intention down. And again, like just sort of stick to the belief about it rather than, and the intention about it. And look for the, like that's like a really clear light. It can even be that you're the light for others. Like you're becoming very assertive. You're becoming very clear-minded and very powerful, I want to say, Leo. So in the month of March, it might even be that other people are looking to you, like, what is it that you're doing? You seem to be on a really good path. It's number 6, so it's love and harmony there. We want to clarify the believe and succeed, please. Believe and succeed for Leo for the month of March. What is March about? Believe and succeed. Believe and succeed. Okay, so it's also like a big preparation. You prepared, and it might still be a preparation the month of March. You will feel when you come to the month of March which it is, because I feel like depending on where you're at on your journey. So we have 5 of Raphael. So this is about like everything happens for a reason, release regret and embrace the opportunities for happiness. And it's like, this is about opening a lot of presents and saving the best one for last. This can be like about kissing a lot of frogs and waiting for your Prince Charming or your Princess Charming. Like this is what you've been waiting for. it's like a big preparation. It's having the intention of where you're going and a big preparation to where you're going. And just keep going in that direction. And it's almost like everything has led up to this moment. Everything is pointing in this direction because of what you came from. It's almost like the feel of, I can't say the entire year 2024 just yet, but it's a feel here that like up until 2024, there's been like a big preparation. And March is no different. March, if anything, is going to be even clearer. It's going to be like, okay, so this is what you aimed for. This is why you did all the crap that you did. This is why you went through, survived, pushed through. Of course, there's been moments of beautiful times as well, but like the big job is leading up to the month of March, where you become very clear that, okay, I've done the job, I've done the deed, so now it's like, this is what I saved up for. Now that is coming in. Now that is what you're aiming for. And just be the beacon of light to others, and also follow the beacon of light from like your guides. Like follow that GPS where it takes you. So the month of March seems to be very like quite important. And then come to April, here and now. So here and now is a little bit like TikTok. It's asking you to try to stay away from future events, future thinking. It inspires you to stay away from past thinking. And just be as present as you possibly can. That is about a little bit of timing again. That's what I'm saying. Like it's a feel of like, try to leave it up to God, the universe, your higher power. And understand that the more you can just sort of stay focused in the here and now, stay focused in your present moment, that you've started to access, you're starting to open the door, literally starting to open the door to what's ready to hatch, what's ready. It's being tended to. The month of April is about like, you can really ask for what you want. It's a really creative, moving. It's not just being in the present moment and therefore nothing really happens or like nothing much is going on. This is when you have the most creative powers. So it's like creating things you almost didn't think was possible. Just because you're staying in the power of the moment. Or the moment of the power. Play words there. But yeah. Can we clarify the here and now? Clarify the here and now, please, for Leo for the month of April. It's asking you to just go inwards, just anchor yourself, be as grounded as you can. Try to not go too far into the future, and not thinking too much of the past. But just be as present as you can. Month of April. Authority. So it's very much like it's very much standing in your integrity, in your authority, knowing who you are, Leo, and sort of just stand your ground. This is what I'm saying, like anchor yourself in, ground yourself. Try to stay as present as you possibly can because things are underway. It's also, again, a little nod to not trying to have an expected outcome. It's laying a foundation. It's like, and so that you don't get too rigid about how it's going to look. This is how it's going to look because that's going to make me happy. Well, what if the universe has a bigger surprise for you? If you just stay present in the moment, you stay true to yourself, you stay in that integrity, be the most authentic version as you possibly can, Leo, and then just sort of let the works be sorted out around you. Because that will happen is if you sort of stay in your integrity and you stay in your energy and let things move about around you. And and try to be stay as open as you can, and try to not decide how things will look when they're done. January, February, March, April. Then we have the month of May. Take the lead. So this is when it's time to act. This is when it's time to, like, things will start to get moving. I'm not saying nothing has moved up until April, but May seems to be, if you have really put down like your intention, you just kept at it, you just kept that intention and kept steering in that direction of what you want, stayed as open as you possibly can. May seems to be the month where things start to really, like, there's a lot of energy coming in, there's a lot of movement, and also for you to not sort of, this is not a time to be inactive or to be like, I'm going to take a month off. No, that's the wrong month to do that. The month of May is an action month. The month of May is more fiery and more energetic. Can we clarify? Take the lead. Take the lead. Take the lead. Wow, the Chariot. So that's just such a confirmation. Determination and self-control. This is you steering the direction of where you want to go, and it's paying off. This is success. This is moving forward. This is you starting to see you're starting to see the evidence of your effort, the evidence of the energy that you put into things. So May is a really beautiful moving forward month. You're going to feel, if you haven't felt up until May that like shifts are taking place or things are getting going, May is the month where it's really going to get going. That's so beautiful, the Chariot there. Okay, moving on to June. We have love here, and you know, this can mean that we're attracting some sort of partnership, romantic partnership for some of you, but this can also be that, and I'll talk a little bit more about that, but it can also be that it's looking at, because you're doing such a profound, like you've done such a great job leading up to this year. It feels like you're having the World card in January. It's like dropping, like closing up something, like that was that. Like you've done the work, and you kissed a lot of frogs, or you went through a lot of relationships, you went through a lot of situations, trials and tribulations, you know, to get to this place. And in May, you've kept focused and you kept your intention. And in May, there's like a lot of shifts, a lot of movement forward, a lot of energy coming in to your life. And therefore, yes, that's going to bring about beautiful new relationships. Like you're in a different place vibrationally altogether, probably, Leo, at this time. And therefore, you're bringing about new relationships. But it also is asking you to look at then the relationship that doesn't fit anymore. So even though this is a love card, this is all about love and harmony, which is like, okay, so where do you find harmony? If you don't find harmony in certain relationships anymore, those are going to start to like be moved out of your life as well. If this is a romantic partnership, this is a gorgeous, I mean, the work that you've done up until this point, this is just, you know, you kissed a lot of frogs there. It shows you saved the best for last. That was in March. And then you just kept open and kept as much as you can to be in the moment. A lot of movement in May, and then there's a connection. There's a beautiful connection being made in the month of June. And if this is you just meeting like new business partners, new friendships, it's just a beautiful place to just make all those beautiful connections. Can we clarify this love for Leo, please, in the month of June? What is June about? June for Leo. I'm just going to put that back because it almost felt like I dropped it rather than it's going to come out again. If those were the cards, it's going to come out again. King of Gabriel, keep your eyes on the big picture. Leave the details to others. Experience that leads to success. This is you meeting your king, and obviously your queen, if you're whatever preference you have. This is just sort of, if there's been a lot of pages, if you will, like if there's been a lot of frogs, if there's been a lot of relationships, whatever, that you have met in the past, that sort of, they're okay friendships, or they've been okay partnerships in however, whatever scenario, whether it's romantic or work-wise or just, as a friend group. This is when you're stepping into the good stuff. This is when it's like an actual friend. Oh, so this is how a friend should be. This is how a business partner should look. This is what you've been waiting for when it comes to romantic partnerships. So it's like you're meeting your king, and this is like Leo, you're so sure of yourself. This is it's a little bit of an emperor feel, like you're very sure of who you are. I love that we have the Leo medallion around your neck. Look at that. It's a very sure vibration. It's a very certain energy, which is bringing these types of relationships, these types of connection about. So June is also like a beautiful month for connections, a beautiful month to even meet your soulmate, if that's what you're looking for. Okay, moving on to July, co-create. So here comes again. So we already had the TikTok, right? TikTok in February, to like leave it up, leave it as open as you can. Try to not put a timing on it. And then we have the here and now. So that like every other couple of months. So we have February, and then we had March, and then we have April again in the here and now. Just try to stay like, let go as much as you can. I'm pausing and starting every once in a while because I'm not blending with the technical stuff is not up to par with the energy here. Okay, and so then we have the here and now we have the co-create. So this is also about, this is a gorgeous place to be in. This is about also just being still enough to make that co-creation, have that co-creation with the universe, with your inner being, with your higher self. This is when you're like, the creativity is really ripe. It's really beautiful. You come together with other people that sort of, they're just, it can even be that the people you met in June, you started to make these connections in June, and then come July, it's like, okay, so what do we do together? Like, there can be like a really beautiful adventure now. How do we move forward in this job? How do we move forward in this romantic relationship? How do we move forward as a friendship? Like, you just come together with all these beautiful connections and like have a lot of creative power in the month of July, but also being very aware that the highest co-creation is, yes, it's a consequence of your alignment, being with all these other people and having co-creation with situations and opportunities and whatever. But the biggest co-creation is between you and Source. And that's like the foundation of it for the month of July. Co-create. So can we just clarify this a little bit, please, for Leo, for the month of July? Month of July. Transformation. Wow. Transformation number 13. 13 is transformation. 13 is the divine feminine. 13 is about having, like, going from a caterpillar to the butterfly. And lately I've started to realize the profound shift of the dragonfly. The dragonfly always comes up in very, like, in transformational spiritual situations, but I just never understood the transformation that the dragonfly itself is actually making. Look into that journey, if you will. It's quite profound. It's almost like us. Like, we go from, I should say, it's like a human. A human goes from actually being in the womb of a person, breathing water, not even breathing. They're sort of fine with just water. And then they sort of transform and come out, and then they start to breathe air. What? Quite crazy, those humans. um, big transformation there. So like, I love this. It's like, it's dedicated effort, like all these months, and then starting to have the movement of May, and then really beautiful connections in June. And this is like a huge transformation taking place in the month of July. It's probably a new Leo on the horizon there that we're seeing in the month of July. It's really profound, really shifting for you. Then, interestingly enough, we have number 6, which is love and harmony. So it's like you're in this love and harmony. You come from this place, and now it's time to make those real shifts. And again, it can be Leo that, because this card is about like when you're trying to make things happen, when you're trying to like, okay, so this is what we'll do. Here's where we will go. This is what it's going to look like. When you're like when you're very determined on how the result is going to look, where it's going to be, when it's going to be, and then nothing. August, which is your month, it's basically it's a little bit like we come into Leo season, you know. We have the biggest Leo season in the month of August. So it's your month. And it seems like that's the month to, as best as you can. It's like, it's like you come from July and you're so, like on such a roll here, and it's like you want to decide in exactly how that's going to look, and the universe goes, no, that ain't the way. That's not how it's going to look. This is not how it's going to. So August might be sort of, I don't know if it's going to be like an anti-climax thing, or like just a big, so try, this is again asking you to try to just be as much as you can be in the present moment, and be as open as you possibly can, because the universe is really trying to guide you to what to do with all this information, all this energy, all this good flow that you're now in. The universe is having like a beautiful path for you to follow, rather than you dictating the path. Make sense? It doesn't mean that it stops. You don't have to be worried. There's nothing like that. It's just you're trying for something, you're realizing like the relationship that I'm in. And it might even be that you are in such a transformational place already from like the entire year, even leading up to this year. You've been in such a transformational place. And there's a grand transformation that happens in the month of July. And because it might be that you have tried stubbornly or beautifully or lovingly to just have certain relationships work in your life, like friendships or whatever type of relationship that you've had in your life, and it's just not working. Because the higher you go and they're not coming, or there's a, and it doesn't have to be that there's big blowout or huge arguments or huge conflicts or anything like that. It's just quite clear when two people move away from each other. But because there's been so much investment, or like, well, what if we're blood? What if this is a family member? What if like I invested so much in this? Then, and also like a situation, if you like invested your freaking entire existence into a situation, a certain situation, and maybe you already know what that is, like you put your soul into something, and you're trying to get it to come along on the journey where you're going. Leo's doing this right now, and you want certain people or certain situations to just come along for the ride, and they just don't. It just isn't. And that's when it's like time to say, okay, this is not for you. They're not supposed to come here, but no further, you know. And you might have fought for a while. You might have brought it about for like a couple of months or even a couple of years. And it's like the month of August, your month, it's almost saying like, we can't do this anymore, Leo. You really have to, for you to then continue to climb, you know, they're going to drag you down. I almost see this ladder. I have a crazy image now, but I see this ladder where you're climbing up on the ladder, and if you're supposed to take like the next step and really get up to the next plateau, if you will, and there's someone sort of hanging on for dear life in your leg, it's like you cannot continue to climb on like over to the next plateau if that person is hanging on there. So what's the choice here really? Well, you can come back down to level it out, to not have it be so heavy, or you can actually ask the person nicely in whatever way that's going to come about to let go. You have to let that go so that you can continue to climb upwards. And that's not easy sometimes. It's not easy to ask someone to go for you to be able to continue to move forward. And that's not you being egotistical. It's not you being selfish or thinking like, what about them then? Well, they have their own connection to the universe. They have their own path. If they for some reason aren't ready to come right now, they're just not ready to come right now. And you forcing them, not forcing them, but you sort of hanging on to it is not helping them either. That was a bit, we spent a lot of time there. Can we clarify not for you? Yeah, you're on a journey here and some people just can't come. This is you getting ready to like continue to move forward. So I guess we have the answer there. You're not going to hold back. You're not going to stop or limit yourself anymore or put your shine down anymore or like, you know, because other people sort of can't come for the ride. This is you going on that journey and you're not holding back. So whatever needs to be let go in August, as best as you can, try to do so. And then come September. It's interesting because September has a similar vibe. We have time to go. This is again asking, so maybe it's like you're thinking about it in August, like you have come to the conclusion that, okay, I can't bring this about anymore, or I can't continue to do this anymore. If this is like a work endeavor thing in August, like you're trying to just get something up and running and you're just sort of, it just doesn't happen. It's like, when is it a feeling to just continue, to not give up because you just haven't met the right people to give you the right circumstance or whatever? Or when is it like, this is just stupidity to just continue to move forward with this path because it ain't happening? You will feel that. You will feel when it gets exhausting and when you lost all passion for it and when it's just not happening. And this is like, September is inspiring you to just let go of the relationships, the situations, the belief systems perhaps that just doesn't fit where you're going. And I got another card here as well. The first, September is the first one that got 2 cards. Awaiting results. This is about when you have adjusted your energy to your inner being. This is when you really have done the work. It's not you adjusting to anyone else but yourself, your inner being. This is inner work. This is you understanding that, okay, if I can't really get what I want, I need to adjust myself a little bit more, or like you need to raise your vibration a little bit more, and so forth. It's a tremendous work that you've done with yourself, on yourself. Can we clarify September, please? Time to go, awaiting results. Firm foundation. And I just want one more. Firm foundation and time to go. Solitude. Okay. So September, the waiting result is also like, not okay, if this is not working, I need to navigate or like pivot into another. I can almost never say that word without thinking about Ross in Friends when he yells pivot. And now the sound needs to pivot. Okay. It is about trying a different route. And I think that like September just feels almost like a move, almost like a, what do I need to let go of? What can come? What can't come? What do I need to change here? You're building a brand new foundation for yourself. You're putting down the ground for something new. Firm foundation. The word speaks it, the border red, which is the base, the root chakra, the foundation of it all. 4 is the foundation. It's like a huge, just foundational card. It's saying you're working on a new foundation here. You're laying the grounds for something new. And solitude is just asking you to just keep to yourself a little bit. September might be like a little bit of a hermit month. It doesn't mean that things aren't moving forward. Things are really changing here, but it might be like a little bit more of a hermit energy about it, that like go inward, seek the answers from within, continue to write that new story where you're going. Be very like, have that same intention of where you're going. And then October, which is 2 cards again. And I love this. This is like, I don't want to say that this is the month where it's happening, because we have had all the other months are just really beautiful as well. But it is like, this is like, okay, so if other people can't come on your journey, you can't either if you are holding on to certain things. And the things again can be the person. I just feel like here, because heal, this is like about forgiveness. It's about breaking the chain of holding on to your grudge, or holding on, being a little bit angry at someone else, or they shouldn't have done this, or they shouldn't have done that. That shouldn't have happened. I shouldn't have gone into that situation. Whatever of those things that are lingering in that sort of arena, still, you being inspired to just really break the chains to that, to really step out of that and forgive others and forgive yourself. Like the ultimate forgiveness. To just let it go, like let the past go. And in the same month, we have the flow card, 10, completion. Holding one hand, and Leo, this is so profound, like, because Leo is leading with the heart, right? We're coming into the flow of things, like trying the waters, testing the waters, and just really going where forgiving, breaking the chain. We have 17, which is immortality. It's the never-endedness of things. It's coming into that place of immortality, understanding your immortality, understanding the greater power of things, understanding the love rather than holding on to resentment, making that final. I mean, obviously we probably continue to work on ourselves till we still continue to work on ourselves. There's like constant betterment, right? There's constant growth. But there's something for the month of October that is just, it is just shifting for you to fully step into the flow of things. The truth card wanted to fall out, so I'm just going to show you that. That's good karma. That's karma being balanced out. That's you finding the inner truth within yourself. Underneath that, we have the connection to the universe, another the world card, really. Flow and heal. Flow and heal. Can we just please clarify this? For the month of October. Wow, this is you going towards your destiny. It's another number 10. I actually didn't say that, but this flow card is your destiny card. And as a clarifying, we have the destiny come out. So this is, and also now when I look at the heal card again, I just feel like, okay, so you might have healed. Your destiny might be about the healing as well. Not the fact that we're healing something and having that be like a big forgiveness around it and letting that go so that you can step into the complete flow of it and really step into your destiny. It might actually be your destiny. Like that's one of the things coming to this planet this time around, to really help heal certain traumas of the collective, certain traumas of generations upon generations, and your destiny has been one of those things to just help heal that and help forgive even the most horrendous situations, and that you might have taken on. Like I just see this like a representative of like so many other people. Like you got it, Leo. Like I can take this on. I can transform this. I can go through this transformation and help heal the world, really. And even generations come before it. So it's a really powerful it is your destiny, but it's also healing it so that you can move into your more flowy destiny, like when it's not so hard anymore. And it's two tens. It's a double completion. It's like, well, can you complete more than you can complete? I guess not. It's like being 150% pregnant, or like I'm a little bit pregnant. Well, are you or are you not? So I guess we can't have a double completion, but it's just emphasizing how much of a completion you're coming into in the month of October, and really stepping into that destiny. That this is what you were supposed to do. This is what you came here to do. I love this. And then come November, which is no surprise then, you just feel utterly blessed. It's just blessing upon blessing. It's those things just sort of, it looks like out of the blue. And the book is saying a little bit like, almost like you didn't do anything to deserve this. Well, you spent your freaking whole life and year leading up to the month of November really going into center, finding yourself, healing generations and yourself, and just landing on this month where it just feels like one blessing upon the other, and it just sort of comes from out of the blue. If this is related to relationships, it might be one of those relationships, again, if it's a romantic partnership, if this is a friendship, if this is whatever type of relationship this is. It can even be a baby coming to you in the form of your own, like through your own pregnancy, or like it's still your baby through surrogacy or adoption. It can even be like a baby in terms of if you're a grandmother or a grandfather, a new baby entering into your life. And it's just that type of love that is just so unconditional. Or if this is romantic partnership, it's like one of those relationships that you just didn't think existed. It's just, you've been through too many frogs to even think that this type of relationship could be actually a thing. Or a friendship that is just beyond, like, oh wow, so this is, again, like we have in June, like this is how it's supposed to feel. You're just feeling completely blessed here. Can we clarify the blessed in November, please? Drop too many cards again. Blessed for Leo, month of November. Okay. Leo, you deserve it. So when things are really starting to get this good, when things are like the other shoe's not going to drop, there's no putting out more fires. It's not like you have to just constantly try to fix things that are broken. You're not fully or really working on any forgiveness path. And it's almost like you have, I don't want to say redeemed yourself, because from what? But freed yourself. It's like tasting true freedom, tasting true power. And I don't mean that in any sort of manipulative way, just true power, coming in fully to yourself and feeling so blessed, cruising through. It's like, well, what is this about? So you might struggle a little bit in November that I might turn to some old habits to mess this up a little bit, because I'm not too comfortable with having this much goodness happening all at once. So just be aware of that. Just be aware of yourself, Leo, in the month of November, that yes, you've earned this, but you've earned this just by being born. You are so worthy of this. It's a new norm. It's the new you, and you don't have to go into, and if you do an afternoon or two, like you turn to whatever you turn to mess things up. You know that if I do this for a little bit, I'm just going to sabotage the whole thing, and then it feels comfortable again. if you sort of just, allow yourself to go on that spree for a little bit and almost just laugh at yourself a little bit, like just say like, how cute am I right now? How cute am I that I need to do this for this afternoon to be comfortable with this much blessing in my life? Then you go ahead and do that, Leo. That's completely fine. But just look out for this a little bit. Like now you know what to look for, that when things are getting a little bit too good in your book, that you might have the temptation to reach for old behaviors, old ways of thinking, then you sort of can just say, you know what, Leo, it's okay. We've done enough down that path, right? We can just stay here and continue to be blessed. And then you're finishing the year on a high note. Like we have the higher power there. So although it's not I don't feel like it's a hermit month, it is still like asking you to it just feels like a new normal. It just feels like it's natural, it's completely natural, but it might be a new normal for you, for Leo. That from here on out, and the work that you've done has just led up to this place. You really started to really get into it in the month of July. That from here on out is like you're not taking direction from anyone else but your inner being. You're not saying yes or no to anything else before you've sort of spoken to yourself. You have that connection with the universe, with source, on a day-to-day basis, constantly, and that's the most important relationship to you. And you understand having that connection with your inner being first, and then go to your relationships with your friends, with your family members, with your romantic partnerships, with any type of opportunity, with job-related situation, life. If you come with that connection to the higher power first, and then go out and meet life, everything is just going to be so much better. Can we clarify the higher power, please? Higher power, December for Leo. So last message here. December for Leo, please. Higher power. Yeah. Oh, that's so beautiful. Foundation. We already started with the foundation in September. You started to lay down this new foundation. And in December, it's like it's like you're taking a step back, looking at like, look what I did. It might even be the first time in your life that you said, look what I did. I did this. Or at least I was a part of creating this. This is foundation and achievement. This is you looking at your new house, your new family situation, your new car, your new job, your new creation. It's almost like a house with a white picket fence and a beautiful rainbow just sits on top of it. It's like, it's just too much. That'll never happen unless you're Leo in the month of December. You're looking at what you've created. There's a huge contentment here. There's like a, wow, pat yourself on the back for what you've done. This is going to be a journey year for sure. Like just a journey, a big transformation of just setting that firm where you're going and hold that intention. I think the one thing to sort of just be a little bit aware of is like, try to not put it in the box of how it's going to look. Try to stay as open as you can to what you want, how that can be presented as, so you don't sort of lock yourself in or hold it out for longer than it needs to be by saying this is how it's going to look, when the universe has something else that's going to bring about maybe even a better feeling of what you initially thought you could feel. And then also, when it gets a little bit like a feeling, I just realized number 4 there. So 4 again, heart matter. It's you, Leo. It's connecting with your heart. And it's a foundation. It's a new foundation. The other thing I was going to say, to look out for, so that you, when you start to feel like things are getting a little bit too good, you start to sabotage a little bit for yourself, to just be aware of that. Look at yourself and laugh a little. Just say, cutie, cutie there. Like, we don't have to go down that path. We're good. We're good with all this blessing. Okay? So that's what I have for you, beautiful Leo. That's the month. That's not the month. That's the year 2024. Please come back and check in month for month if you want to. Thank you so much for watching. Take care, guys.